I've really put over the last 2 episodes of Raw as being some of the best in recent memory. This episode, not so much. There was some stuff I definitely didn't like, but there was some stuff I did like. So, welcome to Silo Voice Wrestling on YouTube and the Silo Voice Wrestling podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Jason C. McLean, and these are my assorted thoughts on the November 24th, 2025 WWE Raw. I'm recording this the next day, Tuesday the 26th. It's right around 7 p.m. Eastern. So let's get into something that I did like. Brock Lesnar falling on his ass. I mean, I think it was somebody else. If like botches are only funny when it's somebody like Brock Lesnar, who's like seen as this uber tough, like UFC fighter guy. It's like his second in recent memory. I mean, he ripped his pants and he comes out, falls down. I cracked up, and what I really love is the way that everyone around them. Initially, some of them laughed, but they all stayed in character. The announcers stayed in character. No sold it. Brock laughed and just went to the ring for the face-off. I guess knowing that people are going to clip that. That wasn't what. If you notice the photo I have up here, usually I get these photos from the official WWE site, but for some reason, Brock falling was not included in the photos available. So I had to find this one from like screen grab. So obviously they weren't going to harp on it, but they knew people were going to mention it, pick it apart, and well, not pick it apart, but have fun with it. So it was actually a really fun ending after the credits to the show. And of course, that was part of the after match, which really built the men's WarGames match at Survivor Series. And, you know, we already knew who the participants were. I think this was a fun build, a good build. The match that preceded it, the Usos versus Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre in the advantage match, was a solid match. But I mean, we knew the heels were going to get the advantage, and they did. And we knew it was going to be through some chicanery, and it was. And we knew everyone was going to come out and fight, and it was. I mean, it was predictable, but it was still good to watch. It was still the right way you do a go home for a PLE that has WarGames as its main event. But what I mainly enjoyed about this build was the opening segment. Roman Reigns comes out, then Cody Rhodes comes out. Cody Rhodes calls it his team, and CM Punk calls out to correct him. And then I think honestly, give the W to Roman in this one, because he got Punk and Cody going after the two champions going after each other, and he made a thing. Is like, so should we just whip them out? We see whose is bigger. And then he said that championship would look even better over my shoulder. And he walked out, and Punk said, "Who are you talking to?" Roman said, "I'm going to let you guys figure that out." It would have been better if we said both, because, yeah, I mean, WrestleMania, we might be going for Roman versus Punk, I think, or Roman versus Cody. I kind of wanted Cody versus Punk at Mania. Maybe, but then that would mean Roman versus Brock if you go with the four guys in the ad. And we've had Roman versus Brock so many times that honestly that might be better. I honestly wanted Sami Zayn winning the World Heavyweight title. Who knows? Maybe the World Heavyweight title will go to somebody else, and maybe it'll be a fatal four-way with those four guys, or maybe a fatal four-way with those four guys for both titles. But again, enough with the WrestleMania fantasy booking. We're not even at Elimination Chamber yet, though we are pretty close. But it was a good, fun start to the show, and I like how the Usos came in and said, you know, who's on the same page? These two guys, they're the tag team. I mean, in the group, even though Jey Uso's been more known as a single star, he's sort of embracing his tag team side. So you know what? I liked how this kicked off. I also liked the build for the women's WarGames match, in particular, Becky Lynch's performance. She's getting very Trumpian in her tweets, her messages, but also in her promos, because she's saying, like, you know, he's sort of like, you know, like all these women are together because I put this team together myself, and like obviously Asuka and Kairi, they're not, they know what's going on, but she gets Asuka to yell at Kairi because implying she forgot Kairi's name. She almost stumbles over Lash Legend's name, Nia Jax, but you know, they're just accepting it because she's a good member of the team. But it was really funny. It's become Becky's team. I also loved AJ giving the verbal retort as, I guess, the newest member of the team. And I mean, it's not her team. It's clearly, I mean, she was the one who came out last, but I think it's still clearly Rhea Ripley's team. But the way AJ just sort of saying, well, you know, now you made the mistake of getting locked in the cage with me, brought up her whole mental health thing. I'm actually listening to AJ Lee talking to Stephanie McMahon on her podcast. That's pretty interesting. I'm about halfway through it. But yeah, well, she brought up she almost got the crowd chanting therapy again, but they really didn't get it together. But and I love how she just passed the microphone to Rhea, and instead of Rhea talking to Rhea goes right to the violence, the fighting. Good showcase for everyone. Io Sky knocking everyone out. Lash Legend looked great. I think this was the right way to do it. It really builds to this match. Even though the build for this match in general has not been the greatest, and it was a bit awkward with the whole Charlotte Flair having second thoughts thing there, and then changing your mind. But still, I'm excited for this match. What I didn't like so much is the fact that there were no women's matches on this show at all. There was this segment, which was good. There was some backstage stuff with Maxine Dupree not getting out there, just sort of being confronted by other people, potential matches, and Stephanie Vicaire and Nikki Bella. Stephanie Vicaire just got like a backstage, or not even the backstage, a pre-recorded promo. So, you know, with some of the matches on this show, they could have put maybe another segment, another match, at least one women's match in the show. I think they're probably doing the advantage match for this one on SmackDown, but they could have done the advantage match for this one on the show. And anyways, that's not the worst part of the show. One thing I did like about the show, really, to stay with the positive, was Gunther versus Carmelo Hayes in the Last Time Is Now tournament. Like, wow, this was an excellent match. And this is, I think, one of Carmelo's, his matches with Andrade were really good, but I think this is one of his best matches, at least one of his best matches in recent memory. Gunther's like trash talking in the middle, like who'd you beat to get here? I guess implying that Cody helped him. He didn't really beat Bronson Reed, but he actually has a victory over Bronson Reed, whereas Gunther has a victory over an NXT talent, Siobhan Evans, who was great. I think even losing this, just getting to this match, getting past the first round and having this incredible match, Carmelo Hayes really showed what he could do. And Gunther once again showed that he's the ring general and why he is such a big threat. And, you know, even though Gunther was dominating, and even though I knew Gunther was going to win, second time again, there were plenty of spots where I was like, wait a second, is Carmelo going to win? Is this possible? Like, Gunther, I was like, maybe he's going to win by count out again because Gunther was out, but no, Gunther got back in. They really good tension, excellent storytelling for a Raw match, for any kind of match. Kudos to these guys. Of course, I didn't like Penta versus Solo Sikoa, and it's neither of these guys' fault. In fact, the match started off fine, interesting, fast-paced. I had actually thought Penta might have won. My little prediction in the video, which came out after the show happened. Who knows? That might have been the original call, but the reason I don't like it is because Penta got injured. He was doing sort of like a Hurricane Rana on the floor, knocked down Solo, but the way he landed, I think he landed on his shoulder. Like, he was just, the referee sensibly called the match off. Now, maybe Solo was going to win by cheating or something, and that was the point, so they just went to the same finish. Or maybe Penta was supposed to win and they called an audible. You can't really have the same people win if it's not a tag team match, if you're calling an audible like that. So it happens. Get well soon, Penta. And that's the only reason why I didn't like that match. What I didn't like, for reasons that are clearly WWE's fault, was the Dominic Mysterio and Little John Cena promo. Now, okay, first of all, don't get me wrong. The little person who played Little John was Sicko from the Micro Wrestling Federation and Big Little Brawlers, and hats off to him. And I mean, I think he did a great job. Cut a promo, and Dom performed it well as well too. It's just that it really felt like Vince McMahon was back in charge. That's just bad late 90s, early 2000s Vince McMahon comedy, and I thought that we had at least lost that. I guess we didn't. I mean, you know what? If they wanted to do a comedy bit, have R-Truth come out as Ron Cena. That would have been fine. And it's just the fact this build has been so good from the IC title switch the week before with Ray, that when we finally got to this the week before on the go home, that's not the best go home for Cena's second to last match and Dom's return home to a stadium for Survivor Series. They could have done comedy. They could have done it a different way, and definitely use Sicko and other little people wrestlers. No problem. Just this way, even though he did great this way, just really like, I was like, come on, what are we doing? I even didn't really pay attention to the following match. Rey Mysterio versus JD McDonough. Rey won, by the way. It was a good match, but honestly, they kind of like set the build back a little bit with the segment before. And these were my assorted thoughts on the November 24th, 2025 WWE Raw from OKC, Oklahoma City. So again, this was nowhere near in the league of the last two Raws that we saw. And while there was some stuff that was really good, there was also stuff that I just wasn't into. I think maybe the last show should have been the go home. If they, of course, that would have been, last show was the way it was because it was in Madison Square Garden, but Madison Square Garden could have been the go home for Survivor Series. Maybe do this one a bit before. Regardless, there were some parts that I like, and I'm still very excited for Survivor Series WarGames. What did you think of this Raw? Let me know in the comments. Follow at Silo Voice Wrestling on Facebook and Instagram, at Silo Wrestling on X, and me at Jason C. McLean on X and Instagram. Also, jasoncmclean.bsky.social on Bluesky. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and ring that bell for notifications to get all my wrestling hot takes, cold takes, simmering takes, wrestling opinion pieces, assorted thoughts on SmackDown and Raw, and WWE Premium Live Event review and prediction videos. And I am ending with that because what I'm going to record right now are my predictions for Survivor Series WarGames. Now, depending on the edit, when I get things done, that might have already come out, but if not, it's going to come out right after this video, or shortly after this video, a few hours after. And then I'll be back with my assorted thoughts on Raw, and then it's PLE weekend. So until the next video, for Silo Voice Studios in Montreal, I'm Jason C. McLean.